Like, I prefer to tell personal stories instead of finding something on Wikipedia and talk like nonsense. Because personal stories, then I can express more of the feelings. Because I experience myself. Just need to make coffee. Before anything happens at the day, everything starts with a coffee. No matter what. Like, I don't eat breakfast before I get coffee. And coffee is one of Sami's way of show hospitality. This is what we serve to everyone. I don't think I have heard of any Samis who doesn't drink coffee. Probably exists, but I don't know. First story is with my grandmother. Now you have to listen. This is a good lesson. So I don't do the same mistake which I did. I'm gonna tell you this. Every time I'm visiting my grandmother, she's expecting us to drink coffee. So I used to call her at the morning. I'm coming over to your house. She's getting excited. She's emptying the fridge, putting everything on the table. It's like hotel breakfast when you walk in. And you sit down, start to eat. I've done this mistake twice. When she comes with the coffee to you and asks, "Do you want coffee?" Fool as I was, I said no. You know what happens when I said no to the coffee?
Put it on you.
Like, now I upset her. Like, she's just inhaling everything and then holding it and staring me down. When she puts back the coffee, she clears away all of the food, and this takes about 5-6 minutes to clear away everything. And then after she's done cleaning away, you can try to talk with her, but she's not answering. Because she's upset because I don't drink coffee. After those 5-6 minutes, she's not the tallest person, about 150, 155. But she scares me every time when she stands up like this. When she stands up like this, I know I fucked up. And I know my grandmother is mad when she talks fast. What's up with this youth? Never have time for the elderly. Now I know. Okay, there is no return. So, that's the first question. She doesn't want any answer, but she's just having an outbreak of it. Like telling me that you've done something wrong without telling me that. So she will continue to clean, washing the tables, washing the floors. If I'm sitting in the way, move. Keeps washing when she's finished. I know when she's finished, when she's washing, she's brewing a storm. My grandmother is brewing a storm. What do I mean with that?
Getting ready to tell you off.
She's getting ready to ask 100 questions in 1 minute. This is the point where you should take my learning. Learn from my mistakes. Don't ever do this. So she's like this. What's her name? Where are you going? Does she have reindeer? Is she Sami? Which family does she belong to? All of these questions you can avoid by saying yes to that one damn cup of coffee. It's so much easier. Then you can talk about anything else. Great advice. Never say no to grandmother.
Or mother.
Or mother. Yeah. But my grandmother is super lovely. She's always helping me with reindeer fur, like reindeer generally, reindeer history, about diseases, everything she knows, how they did, because she's born and raised in reindeer herding. So she's kind of a slow computer. Like if you ask a question, it takes 20 minutes to log in the answer. So you need to drink some cups of coffee before you get the answer. Just a second, I'm just gonna move this wood, which is falling out. Just a second. Can someone check the guests by the fence? So, my grandmother is otherwise very friendly. Like, whenever someone is coming, she's offering to help. Like, if you've broken anything of the traditional clothing, she's helping to fix it. And she's always telling me something new about reindeer herding. Something new about reindeers, Samis, how they lived, how they survived. She's born in 1938, so she's about 85 now. So I hear a lot of stories from Second World War, when she was young, and how they survived back then. That's about my grandmother. I will come back to her later and tell another funny thing. Of course, I approved with my grandmother of all of these stories, so she knows I'm telling this to guests. What do you know about reindeers?
Only from Christmas movies.
Yeah.
That's so. What do you know?
They're very aggressive for food.
Yeah, yeah, that's correct. But aren't you also that? If you don't get food, someone is stealing your snack. Yeah, like they are very friendly. They are quite social, these ones though. Like, they're familiar to people. But normally reindeers are very shy if they're not taught like these ones, which are getting 100 guests always, every day during the winter. Then they're quite shy. So, when do reindeers lose antlers?
Was it keratin?
At the end of the breeding season,
Yeah.
the beginning of the breeding season. Whenever.
Like, females will lose their antlers 2 weeks after calving. Whenever the first reindeer calf is born, we consider that as a new year. So when do we have New Year? What date? I used to say everything from 20th of April till 31 of May. So it's
Spring.
sometimes in this, and this is just early spring. April, May is early spring. May, June is still spring. Because in middle of June, the ground is still frozen here. Like, we can't start to fix the fence before in July, when the ground is melted. At spring, females lose their antlers, like 2 weeks after they given birth. Because the females keep their antlers because of protecting their calf, of course. And then when the calf is strong enough, then they shed their antlers by themselves. They use their back leg to kick it off. Reindeers are flexible as dogs. So, do you guys know what we call May month? Every month has something to do with nature, with reindeers, what's happening. So what do we call May month?
The merry month of May.
Calf month. Because this is the time when we get calves. So that's May. What do we call December?
Me.
Christmas.
Christmas! Finally someone answers right. How about January?
New Year.
You've been here before. I'm considering that now. Like, this normally takes several minutes. People are guessing back and forward. You just took both straight out. So these months are called because something is happening during this time. May, the calf was coming. December, it's Christmas, quite obvious. January, it's called New Year month because it's New Year. So let's talk about April or August. Actually, this is a good example. August, we call Borgamanno. Borgamanno means like it's something to do with reindeer. Borgadit. When reindeer is borgadamin, they're losing their fur, losing their long winter hair, and starting to grow new short hair. So at beginning of August, reindeer doesn't look much pretty. They're having kind of some short hair, a lot of long hair. When they run around, you see only hair flying around. But at end of August, the reindeer look brand new. Like they have this short, glinty fur, like which is super soft. I have an example which I will show later what the short hair looks like. So that's a little bit about the month. So let's move on to reindeers. I can close the door so it gets warmer in here. Can you guys tell me what do these two antlers have in common?
Spikes.
Yeah,
Kind of.
they're both reindeer. What do they have in common? Yes, it's female. They're both left side. But what do they mainly have in common?
The shape.
The shape.
Something with the shape, yeah. What does that mean? When they have the same shape?
Same.
Genetically related.
Which means?
Father and son, daughter and mother.
Almost. They're from the same reindeer. This one, we found for 2 years ago inside the fence. My boss took care of it. So I've been seeing this last winter a lot. So, and also annoyed because it's always in the way. Like we take care of all of our antlers. And then last spring, I found this one inside the fence. I saw the reindeer kick it off. I went straight to it, picked up. And I started to consider, haven't I seen something like this before? So I asked my boss, can I go to the shed? He was kind of upset with me. Do you need to go to the shed? Yeah. Why? Because I think we have the antler from the year before. Can I go look for it? He was kind of, well, you know we have about 700 antlers in the shed. Yeah. Can I go look for it? You will spend several days. Yeah, but it's a good story. This is good material to explain to people how reindeers evolved. Let's study this one. Take a look at this little guy here and the pointy ends on top. And then we compare with the other one. Here we can see how they change. The white one is 2 years ago and the brown one is last spring. Put it like this and then you can see how they change.
Wow.
So this is, in my opinion, very cool to see how they change. And this is why I wanted to find this one. So I went to the shed. I had this antler in my right arm. So I used the left arm. I used my right arm, pick an antler. No. Take another one. No. So I spent 2 days in the shed to find this antler. So I'm pretty happy that I found this antlers. But on the bottom of the antler, which I check all the time when I find antlers, you can see how the reindeers had that last season. This is kind of reindeer diary, traditional reindeer diary. When it has a lot of knobs around the antler, on the bottom of the antler, which is closest to the head, it means they're having a lot of blood veins going into the antler. So this shows me that the reindeer are in good condition. If they don't have this lot of blood veins, then they're probably struggling, or they've been struggling the last season. So guys, you can examine this and send it further when you're finished. So that's a little bit about the antlers. Reindeers will lose their antlers every year. Females, which are giving birth to calf, they will lose them at spring. Males, which we see here an example, the top ones are males. They're much bigger normally than the female antlers, which is on the bottom here. I can turn on the lights so you can see them a little bit better. So there we see. So we're using the antlers as well for something cool. Make lights.